So in this segment, we're going to be talking about a Brexit voter feeling conned by Boris Johnson, and sometimes like they figured it out in the end, and it's all about what you do next. At least for certain voters, for certain people. So we'll listen to his call. James O'Brien does a good job here, and credit to the caller for figuring things out, I guess, in the end.
Totally different subject.
Oh, hang on. All right. You got me nervous now. Go on.
No. Well, I'm maybe the type of person you want. I do feel conned. I voted out.
Okay.
And I'll tell you for why. I voted out. I'm coming towards the end of my working life, and I've worked in industry all my life. And it's depleted over the last 40-odd years.
Yeah.
And I voted out because I thought it would force who's ever in power to train our youngsters.
That's the thing, though. Like the issue is, Labour did a good job, getting people to university. Stuff with apprenticeships, they should have done a lot better on. But there are a lot more opportunities for people under a Labour government than there was under Tories. Right? This guy says 40 years, so that would include what Thatcher as well, Thatcher, Major, Blair, Brown, Cameron, May, and then Boris Johnson. It would have been under David Cameron. So David Cameron was in charge for 6 years at the time. If you didn't notice any change in those 6 years, then I've got news for you, Chief. Brexit wouldn't have solved anything because it was down to, different governments. Now, I'm going to argue Labour did a good job of trading people up. He can disagree with it. That's fine. But the simple fact is that it's up to the government to train people, to set up colleges and trade schools, amongst other things. Why is it that other countries are able to train up, engineers, plumbers, electricians, and all of these other things, and we can't? It tells you there's a problem specifically with the government or governments, not with, freedom of movement or other things.
And then to see Boris go off to India to beg them for IT workers, They've had years, and they've done nothing now about putting in training for nurses. Well, everything, to be honest.
They made it worse for nurses because Theresa May, I think, cut the nurses' bursary. I think it was reinstated, but they made it way worse for NHS workers. Like, why? Unless you're doing it for absolutely good intentions, right? Being a nurse is insane hours, very low pay, and very low respect from the government and even from members of the public. Why would you want to do it at this point?
Yeah.
And I feel conned.
Well, you were conned, but there's no shame in it, George. The effort they...
For me, there is some shame in it. I think you were conned. You were conned twice, mate. Twice. And there is shame in it for me personally. But it happens, and it's what you do now. That's what matters.
Put into doing it was immense, and that's a noble, admirable motivation. The problem, partly, is that even if we were training our young people, we still would have nowhere near enough to fill the kind of vacancies that are growing up now.
I get that, but
they could have done both, couldn't they?
Yeah, we could have done both, and
could have done both, but we chose not to, which means it's the government. It was always the government.
Actually, to my own detriment, because I like the sunshine and I like going abroad. And
oh no, Brexit's impacted me. Oh no, freedom of movement's gone. That's going to hurt me now. Oh no.
Coming up to retirement, want to spend more time abroad.
Of course.
But it's to
not doing that in Spain, pal. That's for sure.
My own detriment, because we've got areas of this country where people are, sitting around, not doing anything. And I think,
like what? So he's saying, the areas of people are unemployed. It's like, should we look into why those people are unemployed? Like, what are the opportunities they've had? Have they had any opportunities to skill up? Things like that. Instead, it's like, oh, they're unemployed. Why don't they just do the jobs of other people? Like, it's not that simple, is it, mate?
They'd have to have a proper plan. This country depresses me at times. We should be more like Germany. We should have
more like Germany. That's in the EU. Okay, then.
More consensus politics. We should have areas where...
Germany has more consensus politics. I think it's more of a decentralised system because of certain moustache menace.
Where there's a plan and it's signed up, agreed, hopefully, with the Labour and the Liberals. So when the government changes, like, say, a training plan, a national training plan, the plan doesn't change. There's nothing. I can't see a thing. I've never.
I don't think necessarily you need cross-party consensus for things, but I feel like because the conservative ideology is so bad. Let's be honest, it's so bad and so rubbish. It creates problems. Look at the last 12 years of Tory rule. Like, it's been pretty horrible. Let's be honest here, and it's only going to get worse. But I do have some sympathy for the guy, but, then day he's kind of realised, Brexit's impacted him, and it's not done the things he wanted it to do. And you got this comment here from Xanax. He says, or they say, sorry, it essentially boils down to this isn't the Brexit we voted for, which is weird because it's the exact Brexit the rest of us voted against. These people had zero foresight. We all know what the Tories are like, and why would they change after getting what they wanted, which is true. And all this is going to do is make the country far worse. But, credit to James O'Brien. I think he should have called out the caller on some things, like when he said we should be like more like Germany. Germany's in the EU. We could have done the things that Germany has done to make it successful. But we choose not to, and that's not because the EU, the Commission, von der Leyen, Maros Sefcovic, Michel Barnier, or any other kind of EU fan or EU worker or whatever you want to call it, elected official. It's because of our own stupidity. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.